We don't even have time for an intro. Let's go. So last night when I got home from the theater, I was like, you know what? It's late, go to bed, you can record this tomorrow. Yeah, I ended up staying up till 3:30 writing down bullet points because I need to talk about this fucking movie. Holy shit, here we go. Bullet point 1. I was bored. That's never happened to me before in a Pirates movie. I'm a huge fan of the franchise, okay? Well, I should say more accurately of the original trilogy, all right? Was not a fan of the 4th movie. No, it didn't look right, didn't feel right. The pacing was really off for me. And if you guys know me, I take my movie-going experience extremely seriously, so I never look at my watch, I never look at my phone, and last night I actually peeked in my purse and I saw what time it was, and about 30 minutes passed, and I was just like, oh my god, it's been 30 minutes, and they are still trying to justify as to why the 3 main characters are actually going to team up and go on this adventure. Way too much setup. The pacing is just so slow, and what was crazy to me is that they try to go ahead and put in a few action set pieces in that first 30 minutes. The set pieces themselves, I mean, they're interesting in concept, but in the execution, it's just so like, what is happening? It's just so obvious that you guys are trying to just basically one up what was happening in the previous movies that you're not even caring about whether or not it's entertaining. Moving on, the other reason why this movie was so boring is the dialogue. Oh my god, 85% of the dialogue in this movie is exposition. And worse than that, it's usually delivered when the people involved are all standing around in a circle. Literally just standing around talking about like, blah, 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 blah. This is the information that we need in order to move on to the next plot point. Oh, here we are at the next plot point. Oh, just so happens, here's this new information that you now need. Blah, 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 blah. Let me go ahead and tell you everything instead of actually showing you through clever dialogue or interesting visual storytelling. None of that shit here. So fucking bored. Another reason why this movie ended up boring me is just because the CGI, oh man. The original trilogy, thank God for Gore Verbinski for being just a psycho man who was like, no, we're actually gonna put everybody on a boat, on the water, at sea. We're gonna use actual fucking pirate ships, all right? We're gonna put our cast, our A-list cast, everybody that we need to on these fucking ships, and we're gonna shoot this shit. And not only that, when we need to go to location, guess what? We're gonna fly in on a fucking helicopter, and we're gonna get there. If that's the only way to get there, guess what? Everybody's getting on a fucking helicopter and we're going there. At a certain point, they needed to actually be in a fucking like underground cave. Guess what? They went ahead and went fucking spelunking, and there's Gore Verbinski and the rest of the team just pretty much loaded up with fucking camera equipment and just like soggy, like, you know, little wetsuits and shit like that. And it's like, God bless you for doing that, because if nothing else, those movies look amazing. I think they're much better than just being, you know, looking amazing, but it's lush, it's tactile, it's grand. It really feels like, oh, this was a time when we didn't know where all the corners of the map were actually at and where everything was, and everything, if you were on the sea as a pirate, you really did feel like you were seeing and experiencing something new. Here, yep, we're on a fucking soundstage. There's a fucking green screen behind me. Oh no, we need to go over there to that side of the green screen. All right, guys, come over here. By the first hour and a half, I was just so exhausted by it. Just go ahead and sell me on a good story and let the CGI support that. Here, CGI is just front fucking center, and it's not good CGI. I'm talking about the looks of this movie, but what I really need to address about this movie is just how shallow it is, because the other movies, even though they were, you know, full of spectacle and action scenes and whatnot, the heart of it was always consistent and there. You know, you always had these characters that felt like they were fleshed out, they were complicated, they were, you know, fully realized. There was actual character development, and we actually got to see our characters go through an arc between, you know, the beginning of the movie to the end. Maybe from the first movie all the way to the third one, you were like, yeah, I really feel like these people actually went on an adventure and they changed as a result of that. That's really amazing and great. None of that shit to be found here. Everybody is as they are, and that's all they're ever going to be. And that's really upsetting, especially when you consider the fact that every character here is either squandered, mishandled, or just exaggerated to a ridiculous degree. I mean, Jack Sparrow is no longer Jack Sparrow. Before, Jack Sparrow was sort of like the drunken kung fu master. He was always just sort of like, you weren't really sure if that was really him, if he was really that drunk, or maybe he was just putting on this persona so that way everybody would just constantly underestimate him, so that way whenever he pulled off, you know, this incredible, you know, ruse or mischief, it would just be like awe-inspiring. Here, he's just a drunken idiot. It's so sad. It's so upsetting. These movies used to be about mystery and the supernatural and about, you know, romance and adventure. And here it's just a shallow, just like, we're gonna go find some treasure now because pirates like treasure and there's a pirate curse too. And then, hey, there's some other people here that you remember from those other movies and we're just gonna go ahead and abuse the fuck out of their storylines because we don't know how to go ahead and wrap this up in a way that is meaningful and interesting and compelling. Oh my God. This movie gets to a point where it took a step too fucking far. And I just was like, this is bullshit. Fuck this movie. I literally was just under my breath for the rest of the movie. Fuck this movie. Fuck this movie. Fuck this movie. Yeah, so if you're wondering if you should go check it out, you really shouldn't. Take your 20 bucks that you were gonna spend on a ticket for this movie. Go ahead and buy the box set of the original trilogy. Buy that shit, okay? Because that's gonna be a far better investment than this. Even though I don't like the fourth Pirates movie, the quality of that film far exceeds what the fuck is happening here. I'm so sorry that this just became I fucking hate this movie rant, but this hasn't happened since Independence Day. That was a full summer ago. Now, is the whole movie hopeless? No, because there are moments in which, you know, the chemistry between certain characters come out and it's like, oh, okay, I get that, and I would love to see more of that. And then the next moment comes along where you're just like, oh, that's interesting, and that could be really, really cool, and like, yeah, let's dive into that and see where that goes. And then they just, nope, we're just gonna go ahead and just cut that shit right off because we gotta get back to the boring CGI shit. Like, oh, okay. This is one of those moments in which I had problems actually forming new memories because then I wouldn't actually have to remember seeing how disappointing this movie was. Yeah, so please let me know what you think. What is your favorite Pirates movie? So please like, comment below, subscribe, do whatever it is that you guys really need to do, and I will talk to you later. Okay, love you, bye!